Beloved chosen one, if your spirit has brought you here in this exact moment, know this. It was divinely orchestrated. You are not here by chance. You are here by sacred alignment. Something powerful is stirring, not outside of you, but within you. And tonight, right where you are, that stirring will become a surge. A supernatural shift is already in motion, and you are at the center of it. This is not just another evening. It is the night where everything begins to align. The veil is lifting, and heaven is declaring that you are ready to step into a truth that surpasses your former limitations. Ready to awaken to a version of yourself you've never met, because that version was always divine, just waiting to be revealed. You're not here to live a life of quiet survival. You're here to rise in the fullness of who God made you to be. You've felt the pull, haven't you? That deep sense that you were meant for something greater than what the world has shown you. That's not fantasy. That's your higher calling speaking. And tonight, it will roar. This awakening will shake the very foundation of how you see yourself. You will not only witness change, you will become the change. Everything you've prayed for, waited on, hoped for, it's not far away. It's already within reach. And your only task now is to say yes, to stay open, to stay ready. Before we go deeper into this divine transformation, I want to pause and say thank you to everyone who has supported this mission through Super Thanks. Your generosity is not just seen, it is felt. It fuels this divine assignment, and whether you've donated or not, please know this: you are deeply valued. Just by being here, your energy is a contribution. Your presence is a blessing. And now, if you feel this message already resonating in your spirit, if your soul is saying, "This is for me," then take a moment and type 999 in the comments, not just as a number, but as a prophetic declaration. I align with this transformation. I receive this activation. I am ready for what God has prepared for me. Chosen one, tonight is the night heaven whispers louder than ever. You are not just waking up, you are rising. Stay open, stay alert, and stay in position, because tonight everything changes. God's chosen ones, tonight you become more than human. Stay ready. Chosen one, you have endured the silence, wrestled with the unknown, and waited with a patience that only heaven could have sustained. You've carried a hope so sacred, you barely dared speak it aloud. How many nights have you laid in stillness, wondering if God had truly heard your cries? How many days did you push forward with a smile while your soul whispered, "When will my moment come?" And now, the answer has arrived. Not in thunder, not in spectacle, but in the quiet confirmation of the Spirit. Tonight, the waiting ends. This is not a poetic suggestion or a motivational illusion. This is divine timing colliding with divine design. God's power is not just going to visit you, it is going to change you. What once felt dormant within you is now coming alive with a supernatural force that does not simply improve, it transforms. His touch tonight will not merely comfort you, it will activate a version of you that has been hidden, prepared, and preserved for this exact hour. What if everything you've endured was heaven's way of aligning you for this one irreversible moment? You have not been forgotten. You have been positioned. Every delay was divine. Every detour was direction. Every disappointment was divine protection. Chosen one, the timeline of your life has not been random. It has been orchestrated with celestial precision. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Psalm 37:23. And now, those steps are leading you into a realm that is beyond what your mind can comprehend. This isn't just a breakthrough. This is the divine unveiling of your destiny. Tonight, the veil between the seen and unseen will thin for you. You may be in a quiet room, but in the spirit, heaven is busy. Angels are aligning. Doors are creaking open in realms you cannot yet see. The atmosphere around you is shifting, not because of what you've done, but because of what God is doing in you. Eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. 1 Corinthians 2:9. These are not just poetic words, they are your current reality being ushered in through divine hands. As you read these words, something within you recognizes the truth. Your soul is nodding even before your mind can catch up. Why? Because deep within you, you've always known this day would come. This is the moment when longing meets manifestation, when prayer touches fulfillment, when faith becomes sight, and not in a distant future, in this very moment. God's promises are not being delayed, they are arriving right on time. Let this truth settle into your bones. This breakthrough is not just for encouragement, it is for confirmation. It is the echo of God's voice declaring that His hand has never left your life, even in the silent seasons. When you felt most alone, He was rearranging everything for your good. When you felt abandoned, He was building you into someone who could withstand the weight of the calling that's now being activated. This transformation is not a metaphor. It is a divine phenomenon. You are not simply becoming a better version of yourself. You are crossing a spiritual threshold. You are being reborn into the truth of who you've always been in heaven's eyes. The limitations of the flesh are being stripped away, and your spirit is expanding to hold the magnitude of the purpose God has poured into you. And we all, with unveiled face, beholding the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory. 2 Corinthians 3:18. Consider the life of Sojourner Truth, born into slavery, illiterate and voiceless in the world's eyes, yet she rose to become one of the most powerful abolitionists and speakers of her time. What moved her? Not education, not privilege, but divine empowerment. Her transformation was heaven-made. And tonight, your transformation carries the same divine signature. What the world once overlooked in you, heaven has been guarding. What others dismissed as small, God is calling forth as mighty. You were never meant to live a mundane life. The ache in your spirit was never discontent. It was divine memory. You've been carrying glimpses of a future your eyes couldn't yet see. Now, those glimpses become a full revelation. You're not just a person of potential, you're a vessel of purpose. Not just someone trying to figure it out, but someone being revealed for such a time as this. You're not only stepping into destiny, you are destiny embodied. As this awakening unfolds, you will feel it not just in your emotions, but in your very being. Your body may tremble, your chest may feel heavy with holy weight, your thoughts may begin to realign without effort. That's not imagination. That's your soul shedding its constraints. You're not unraveling, you're ascending. The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. Proverbs 20:27. That candle within you is being lit tonight, and it will never go out again. Look at someone like Tyler Perry. Before he became a media mogul, he was homeless, rejected, overlooked. But what ignited his breakthrough wasn't fame or finances. It was a moment of surrender to God's direction. He leaned into a calling that didn't make sense, one that felt impossible. And from that obedience came transformation that touched millions. Just like him, your story isn't ending in struggle. It's beginning in sacredness. You may think the transformation is still far away, but pause and consider. What if it's already begun? What if the peace you feel right now, even in the middle of uncertainty, is the evidence? What if the strange joy bubbling up in you is proof that your spirit has already crossed into a new realm? Don't wait for a grand event to confirm it. Feel it, trust it, let it carry you. From this moment forward, your identity is no longer confined by history, by struggle, by earthly labels. The divine is now your reference point. You are a being of light, a soul wrapped in purpose, and heaven has marked you for impact. Let the world call it strange. God calls it chosen. You are now being asked to walk in a truth that leaves no room for small thinking. This is not the time to doubt your worth or question your calling. What God begins, He finishes. And what He is birthing through you tonight will not fade. It will grow. It will multiply. It will become the legacy your bloodline prayed for but never lived to see. Chosen one, the shift is not coming. It has arrived. Your breakthrough is not a vague promise. It is unfolding now. Your destiny is not a dream. It is the very ground you now stand on. Stay open. Stay aligned. Heaven is not waiting to visit your life. It's moving in. God has already begun the work, and it will be completed with power, with glory, and with undeniable evidence that you were never just human. You were always divine, and tonight that truth becomes unshakable. Chosen one, tonight your only responsibility is sacredly simple. Be fully here, not halfway, not distracted, not burdened by what didn't work out yesterday or what may come tomorrow. Just be here, present, alert, and open. Why? Because the atmosphere has shifted. The breakthrough is no longer coming. It has arrived, but it requires your undivided presence to receive it. Can you feel it even now? That subtle stirring in your chest, that stillness pushing out the noise. That's not coincidence. That's heaven preparing you to walk into something irreversible. Distractions are not just annoyances tonight, they are strategies. What if every little irritant, every wandering thought, every text or memory that suddenly resurfaces is not random, but tactical? What if the enemy is fully aware of what's being released over your life and is scrambling to divert your attention? Because that's exactly what's happening. As the divine begins to unveil something unprecedented in your life, the resistance will increase. But take heart. This is a sign you are on holy ground. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. 1 Peter 5:8. Tonight, chosen one, that someone will not be you, because you will not be caught off guard. You're being called to protect your atmosphere like a priest guards the altar. This is not just about putting your phone on silent. It's about protecting your thoughts, shielding your heart, and choosing what you allow into your spirit. Guard your environment with the same reverence as the Israelites guarded the Ark of the Covenant. Do not allow careless conversations, pessimistic voices, or toxic distractions to taint the purity of this divine moment. You're not just waiting for something miraculous to happen. You are housing it. You are the temple. The sacred energy flowing through you tonight cannot be handled casually. Create a sanctuary within yourself and around yourself. For what is holy is fragile at first and must be fiercely protected. Remember the story of Nehemiah, who rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem. He faced mockery, threats, and distraction, yet he remained focused. "I am doing a great work," he said, "and I cannot come down." You must have that same spiritual resolve. The breakthrough is not something you chase, it's something you prepare to hold. And you cannot hold it with hands full of distraction or a heart weighed down with negativity. This is why tonight, more than ever, you must retreat into your own sacred space. Your spiritual atmosphere matters. Have you noticed how a single comment from the wrong person can shift your mood, your peace, your entire day? Now, imagine that multiplied in a moment, this spiritually sensitive. This is not the hour to leave your spirit unguarded. You're not being paranoid, you are being wise, and wisdom is divine strategy. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. That flow is precious tonight. It is the channel through which divine energy is moving. Guard it like your future depends on it, because it does. You have a divine right to peace. Not temporary calm, but soul-deep clarity that anchors you even when the world around you trembles. That peace is your inheritance, your spiritual shield. And tonight, as God begins to release a revelation over your life, you will need to remain in that peace like a seed remains in fertile soil. It's where the breakthrough will grow. It's where God's voice becomes unmistakable. It's where alignment becomes unavoidable. Consider the life of Edith Eva Eger, a Holocaust survivor turned world-renowned psychologist. In the face of unimaginable trauma, she chose to protect her mind, not just to survive, but to transform. Her breakthrough did not come in luxury. It came in inner alignment. She fiercely protected her mental space until it became her place of power. That same strength is being cultivated in you tonight. Your space, internal and external, is sacred ground. Treat it as such. God is not just whispering promises tonight. He's unveiling identity. He's revealing to you a truth that has always existed beneath the surface. You are not of this world. You've known it all along, haven't you? That strange sense of distance when surrounded by crowds. That ache in your chest when you tried to blend in. The quiet knowing that the rules of this world never really apply to you. It's because they don't. They are not of the world, even as I am not of it. John 17:16. That's Jesus speaking, not just of his disciples, but of every chosen soul he sends into this realm on assignment. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to anchor the frequency of the divine in a world desperate for truth. As this truth begins to settle, you'll start to feel a peace that makes no sense, a stillness in your soul that contradicts every chaos surrounding you. It's not apathy, it's divine clarity. Suddenly, your past will begin to make sense. The isolation, the emotional turbulence, the spiritual dissonance. You weren't being rejected, you were being preserved. You weren't abandoned, you were being protected. You were never meant to blend in because your origin is not earthly. It is eternal. This isn't a curse. It's a blessing so rare the world doesn't know what to do with it. That's why you've been misunderstood. That's why you've always felt like an outsider in rooms filled with noise. You weren't made for noise. You were made for resonance. And tonight you will begin to hear the echo of your true nature, like a divine chord strummed in the deepest part of your soul. You are meant to shine, not to boast, but to bless, not to dominate, but to disrupt the systems of darkness with the quiet authority of light. Once you fully embrace that you were created for something beyond comprehension, you will begin to walk with a kind of unshakable dignity. You'll stop explaining your peace. You'll stop shrinking your power. You'll stop asking for permission to be who God has always said you are. Look at the story of Benjamin Banneker, a self-taught African-American mathematician and astronomer in the 1700s. In a world that told him he had no place, he aligned himself with his God-given brilliance and defied all expectations. His calculations predicted solar eclipses. His presence disrupted systems of oppression. He didn't wait for validation. He stood in alignment. So must you. Tonight, you are not becoming someone new. You are returning to who you've always been. The soul within you remembers where it came from, and that memory is rising. Within you lies a spiritual blueprint coded with heaven's design. It's not just potential, it's permission. Permission to walk in the power and peace of your true nature. Permission to disrupt darkness simply by standing in your light. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you. Jeremiah 1:5. That consecration didn't expire. It was not lost in childhood. It was not erased by trauma. It was not undone by failure. It is alive, intact, and active tonight. As you sit in your sacred space, remember, this is holy ground. Not because of where you are, but because of who you are. God is moving through you in this very moment, and your only task is to remain present, protected, and prepared. This is not about achieving. This is about receiving. The transformation is already happening, and the more you guard your peace, the more you will feel it taking root. You are not of this world. You never were. And tonight you begin to walk with the clarity, power, and grace of one who finally remembers that eternal truth. Chosen one, tonight you will begin to grasp something sacred, something your soul has always known, even when your mind couldn't find the words for it. This is not just another spiritual message. This is the unveiling of your essence. For the first time, you will feel the truth in your bones. You are not merely a human being with fleeting desires and fragile dreams. You are a divine creation, woven with purpose, marked by the fingerprints of your Creator, and encoded with spiritual power. This is not just biology. This is divine architecture. You carry in you the DNA of destiny. What would happen if you truly understood the sacred design of your being? What would shift in your life if you realized that the light you're seeking has always been inside you? You see, God didn't make you to live in confusion or smallness. He created you with clarity and strength embedded deep within. According as his divine power hath given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness. 2 Peter 1:3. That means you lack nothing. Not courage, not strength, not insight. It's all already within you, waiting to be remembered, reactivated, and released. You were never called to be perfect. You were called to be aware, to recognize that the divine potential planted within you is not accidental. Tonight, you will feel that awareness rising. A holy shift is occurring within your spirit. The voice of self-doubt will be silenced by the roar of sacred truth. You are chosen. You are equipped. You are enough. And you always have been. For too long, the world tried to convince you that your uniqueness was a flaw, that your depth was too much, that your intensity was misaligned. But tonight, you will begin to see that every inch of your being has been designed with sacred intentionality. You were not created to blend in with the noise. You were crafted to radiate divine clarity, that sense of misplacement you've always carried. It wasn't rejection, it was a reminder that you belong to something higher, something greater, something eternal. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works, which God hath before ordained that we should walk in them. Ephesians 2:10. You are not random. Your presence on earth is not a coincidence. You were ordained. Every detail of your life has been part of a larger mosaic, guided by the hands of heaven. And now, the image is beginning to come into focus. God is confirming your sacred path tonight, not just through feelings, but through revelation. You may not have seen how each trial was building you, but now you will. The moments you thought were setbacks were actually strategic setups. That heartbreak, it expanded your capacity to love. That betrayal, it sharpened your discernment. That delay, it gave your spirit time to deepen. Every fragment of your journey has been leading you to this divine unveiling. Consider the life of Corrie ten Boom, a woman who survived Nazi concentration camps only to go on to become one of the most powerful voices of forgiveness and faith in modern history. Her trials weren't wasted. They were holy tools that shaped her for divine impact. Just like her, your story has sacred weight. Your scars carry stories that heaven will use to heal others. You are not a victim of your past. You are a vessel of God's purpose. Tonight, the blueprint of your higher purpose will be shown to you in ways that bring not just understanding, but alignment. You will begin to walk with a certainty that transcends logic. This is not about figuring everything out. It's about flowing with the truth that everything has already been prepared for you. The fog is lifting, the path is clearing, and your feet will no longer stumble in uncertainty. What you're experiencing is not just insight, it's a 5D transformation. you are being pulled out of the narrow confines of human perception and into the expansive awareness of divine consciousness. This shift isn't abstract, it's alive. You'll feel your body respond with lightness, your emotions settle into peace, your thoughts become sharper and clearer. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. Colossians 3:2. That is what this shift is. A mental, emotional, and spiritual elevation beyond the gravitational pull of fear, doubt, and limitation. This is not a one-time event. It is the beginning of a lifelong unfolding. A new spiritual frequency is now embedded in you. The veil between the earthly and the eternal is thinning. You will find yourself operating from a higher plane, not in arrogance but in awakened responsibility. The divine dimension you've only glimpsed in dreams and moments of stillness will become your new normal. As you step into this transformation, you will begin to release the identities the world tried to assign you. You are not your wounds. You are not your job. You are not your past. You are something far greater. You are divine breath in human form, a radiant beam of God's glory clothed in flesh. That is not poetry. That is your reality. Look at the journey of Nikola Jokic, now one of the NBA's most dominant players. He was once an overlooked, uncelebrated second-round draft pick, doubted for his unconventional style. But his greatness couldn't be hidden. His potential didn't need permission to bloom. It only needed consistency and inner alignment. You are the same. Your value cannot be measured by external applause. It is embedded in who you are, and no one can take that from you. This truth will hit your soul tonight with a weight that feels both overwhelming and familiar. Overwhelming because it demands that you shed everything false. Familiar because your soul has always known it. You've been waiting for this moment, and now it has found you, not to give you something new, but to awaken what has always been yours. You may have doubted your strength, you may have questioned your worth, but tonight that doubt ends. You were made in the image of the Creator, and what He places within cannot be erased by circumstance. Ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Psalm 82:6. This is not blasphemy, it is biblical. You are not powerless, you are not alone, you are not confused. You are chosen, empowered, and now awakened. You are stepping into your full potential, not the version shaped by expectations, but the version shaped by eternity. You will begin to create from clarity, move from intuition, and speak from authority. The divine doesn't need to shout to be heard, and neither will you. As this transformation deepens, know this. The limitations of your past no longer apply. The labels no longer stick. The ceilings have been shattered. You are walking in a new frequency now, one that does not bend to earthly rules. You will love differently. You will see differently. You will lead differently, because you are different. Chosen one, have you ever felt something shifting inside you? Something subtle yet undeniable, a warmth in your chest, a strange stillness in your thoughts, or a rising sense of clarity you couldn't explain. What if that wasn't just a feeling, but a signal? What if your body and spirit are beginning to align with something eternal? Tonight, you are entering what the ancients once described, but modern language has barely begun to touch. A crystalline transformation. Can you feel the pull of something sacred? This transformation is not a metaphor. It's not just energy. It's identity. It is a moment where the spiritual and the physical finally meet in you. The divine is no longer something you pray to outside yourself. It's becoming something you feel within. This sacred alignment is a shedding of everything that has been heavy, false, or forced. It is the revealing of your pure essence. Have you ever asked, what if I was never broken, just hidden? Tonight, that hidden light is breaking through. What begins as a whisper in the soul soon becomes thunder in the spirit. This is not about becoming more spiritual. It's about realizing you always were. The crystalline transformation is a divine activation. Your nervous system may feel calmer, your thoughts clearer, your awareness heightened. These are not symptoms, they are signs. They are the living proof that you are no longer bound by the patterns of the past or the expectations of the world. You are now responding to something higher, the divine rhythm of who you were before the world taught you to forget. But are you ready to stop hiding your light? Are you ready to stop shrinking into spaces that no longer fit the shape of your soul? The world has always tried to fit you into boxes, hasn't it? Telling you what to wear, how to think, who to become. But deep inside, you've always known. Your energy didn't match the crowd. You weren't built for conformity. You were designed to disrupt. And disruption is holy when it's led by truth. Tonight, God is reminding you of your uniqueness, not as a burden, but as a blueprint. Your individuality is not a defect. It is design. What the world misjudged as different, heaven calls divine. Look at the story of Zaha Hadid, the revolutionary architect born in Baghdad. She was told her ideas were too ambitious, too radical, until her unapologetic vision redefined global architecture. Her curves, her flow, her refusal to conform sound familiar. She was not trying to build buildings. She was bringing heaven to earth. Like her, your path may not look like anyone else's, and that's exactly the point. Have you ever wondered why, even when you followed the rules, you still felt unfulfilled? Why you did what others said was right, but something in your spirit still felt off? That inner dissonance was your divine self, resisting a false identity. It wasn't rebellion, it was remembrance. Tonight you will remember who you are. This divine awakening is not about achievement, it's about alignment. You are now stepping into a dimension where your soul and body agree, where your thoughts no longer sabotage your calling, but serve it, where your heart leads and heaven follows. And in this place, nothing forced survives. Only what's pure, true, and eternal remains. You may wonder, but how do I know this isn't just my imagination? Chosen one, when your entire being begins to feel clearer, more peaceful, more anchored, you're not imagining. It's confirmation. God never needed you to change into something else. He only needed you to return to who He made you to be. This isn't just personal, it's cosmic. Your soul is remembering its origin. You were not born for this world alone. You were sent with a divine assignment that reaches beyond time. Why do you think nothing ever fully satisfied you before? Because you were never meant to settle for the temporary when the eternal was calling your name. Look at George Harrison, the lead guitarist of the Beatles. At the height of fame, wealth, and worldly success, he stepped back and said, "There's something more." His search led him into deep spiritual exploration, meditation, and a legacy of music that carried spiritual truths across cultures. He realized that peace wasn't in applause, it was in alignment. And now you are being invited into the same sacred realization. As this transformation deepens, something in you will shift permanently. You may no longer resonate with certain environments, conversations, or relationships. Do not fear this disconnection. It is sacred pruning. You're not losing yourself, you're discovering your true frequency. And in that discovery, the people, opportunities, and doors that match your divine vibration will begin to find you. You won't need to chase, you'll simply align. Have you ever sensed that there was more power in your presence than you could explain? That people reacted to you with admiration or fear without you even doing anything? That's not charisma, that's divine charge. And tonight, that charge is being turned up. You are stepping into your full potential, not as someone reaching for power, but as someone remembering they already have it. That potential within you is not new, it's ancient. It's always been there, encoded into your spirit from the beginning. You are not awakening into someone new. You are awakening into your original design. And that original design, it includes the ability to create, to heal, to manifest, to command energy with your voice and intention. Think about Marina Abramovich, the performance artist whose work pushed human and spiritual limits. Her art asked questions no one dared ask, and often she stood in silence for hours, letting people confront the truth within themselves. She didn't speak to entertain, she stood to reveal. And that's what your presence is about to do. Not perform, but reveal. You are not here to blend in. You are here to wake others up just by standing fully in your truth. This awakening won't be loud, but it will be unshakable. You'll find peace where there once was anxiety. You'll find power where there once was hesitation. You'll find purpose not in the noise of the world, but in the quiet pulse of your spirit. That quiet pulse, that's God's voice. And tonight, He's not just speaking to you, He's speaking through you. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. You are no longer hiding. You are no longer second-guessing. You are no longer asking for permission to be who you were born to be. You are the light. And tonight, that light shines in a way it never has before. As you embrace this crystalline transformation, you will notice a new rhythm in your life, a rhythm of divine timing, a rhythm of spiritual ease. You'll move through the world with a sense of knowing, a confidence rooted not in ego, but in essence. This is what it means to live beyond the veil, to see not just with eyes, but with insight. Are you ready to walk in that rhythm? Are you ready to trust that who you are is not only enough, but divinely engineered for this exact moment in history? Because tonight, chosen one, you unlock what has been sealed for generations. Your soul's potential, dormant no more, rises to the surface. And when it does, the world will not only see you, it will feel the shift you carry. Chosen one, have you ever sensed that something deep within you was being restrained, like a sleeping giant waiting for the right moment to awaken? Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt there was something more behind your eyes? Something ancient, powerful, sacred, that the world could never quite recognize or define. Tonight, that something steps forward. Tonight, the divine power you've always carried within you will no longer remain dormant. It will rise. This is not just about gaining confidence or motivation. This is about unlocking your sacred inheritance. Tonight marks the moment where you do more than shift your perspective. You transform your perception of yourself. You will no longer see through the lens of limitation. You will begin to see through the eyes of your Creator. And when that happens, nothing will ever look the same again. How long have you let the limitations of human understanding define your worth? How many times have you questioned your own identity because others couldn't understand your depth? Tonight, those chains fall away. The veil lifts. The mask is removed. You were never meant to play small. You were created to carry the frequency of heaven while walking on earth. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Psalm 82:6. These are not poetic illusions. They are divine declarations. This awakening won't feel like a bolt of lightning. It may feel like a flicker, but pay attention to that flicker. It's the first spark of a fire that cannot be extinguished. The moment you begin to feel that sacred shift is the moment heaven aligns with your identity. A divine current begins to run through you, subtle, powerful, and undeniable. You are now stepping out of self-doubt and into divine remembrance. You were never average. You were never meant to blend in. You were handcrafted to transcend, to shine, to lead others back to the truth of who they are by first walking boldly in the truth of who you are. This divine truth isn't new. It's eternal. But tonight it becomes active. When you realize your essence is beyond human, everything else begins to change. Your fears begin to look small. Your anxieties lose their grip. You realize that nothing external can shake what has been rooted internally by the hand of God. This is more than a feeling. It is a frequency shift, a spiritual calibration to the power that has been lying dormant in your soul. And tonight, it is being awakened. What will you do when you fully realize that you possess the divine ability to create, to heal, to transform reality? What will happen when you stop questioning whether you're enough and begin to act from the truth that you are already whole? This shift is not theoretical, it's practical. You'll notice it in the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you respond to stress or adversity. You'll feel less urgency to prove and more desire to simply be. Because when you know your origin is divine, you no longer compete for what you already carry. You no longer chase what you're meant to attract. Let the story of Viktor Frankl serve as confirmation. He was a Holocaust survivor, a psychiatrist, and the author of Man's Search for Meaning. Even in the darkest conditions of the concentration camps, he discovered that no one, not even those who stripped him of everything, could take his inner freedom. His spirit remained intact. That divine light could not be extinguished. His realization birthed a new psychology, one rooted in purpose and human resilience. You carry that same resilience, not because life has been easy, but because God has been preserving you for a purpose greater than pain. Tonight, you will witness the unveiling of your sacred identity, not because God is giving you something new, but because He is finally revealing what has always been true. You were created in His image. So, God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him. Genesis 1:27. That truth is not symbolic. It is foundational. It is spiritual code written into your essence. And when that code activates, everything changes. Do you remember the moments you looked around and wondered why you never quite fit in? Why you always felt like an outsider, even among those who loved you? That discomfort wasn't dysfunction. It was divine design. God never meant for you to fit into a mold. He meant for you to break them. Look at the journey of Temple Grandin, an autistic woman whose mind works in pictures. She was told she would never function normally, but through divine ingenuity and perseverance, she revolutionized the livestock industry and became one of the most influential thinkers in animal science. She didn't suppress what made her different. She embraced it, and in doing so, she changed the world. So will you. Your sacred identity isn't just a concept, it's your blueprint. From the way your mind connects ideas, to the way your heart senses pain in others, to the way your body reacts to certain environments, none of it is accidental. You are God's masterpiece, encoded with divine detail. For we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works. Ephesians 2:10. And those good works, they begin tonight with your remembrance of self. As divine transformation moves through you, it may feel quiet, gentle, like a breeze in your spirit, or it may feel like a flood. Tears, release, realization. Either way, do not resist it. These are not random sensations. They are sacred confirmations. Trust them. They are not leading you away from who you are. They are guiding you home. The shift happening now is deeper than emotion. It is your soul stretching back into divine shape. Old wounds may rise, not to hurt you, but to be healed. Old dreams may resurface, not to taunt you, but to be reignited. You will start to feel, not just think. You'll begin to know, not just believe. That is the mark of divine awakening. It does not require you to figure it out. It only requires you to feel your way into alignment. Consider Brian Welch, former guitarist of the heavy metal band Korn. At the height of fame, money, and addiction, he surrendered to a divine encounter that changed his life. He walked away from everything, found God, and rebuilt his life from the inside out, this time with purpose, clarity, and peace. Your shift may not look as dramatic, but it will be just as powerful. Because it's not about external change, it's about internal truth finally rising to the surface. The world around you will begin to look different. The same streets will carry new meaning. The same voices will sound unfamiliar, not because they've changed, but because you have. You've been retuned, recoded, and now what once drained you will no longer reach you. What once intimidated you will no longer touch you. What once confused you will now clarify your mission. You are no longer navigating life based on what's visible. You are being led by the invisible, by the whispers of the divine, by the compass of your spirit, by the calling echoing from realms your physical ears cannot hear, but your soul recognizes instantly. This is not fantasy. This is the reality of divine transformation. So, when you feel the stirring in your chest, when you notice a new peace settling into your breath, when your heart beats a little louder for no reason, know that it is for a reason. The shift is not coming. It's already here. And it will carry you into dimensions of purpose, creativity, and power that you never knew were accessible, but have always been yours. Chosen one, can you feel it rising inside you? The quiet certainty that something sacred is happening. Have you sensed that tonight is different? That the air around you carries more than silence? It carries prophecy? Tonight is not just another evening. It is the threshold of your spiritual ascension, the sacred unfolding of the moment your soul has been preparing for your entire life. And now, the time has come. You are rising, not in ego, but in essence. Not by striving, but by remembering who you've always been. You are no longer walking blindly through this world. The fog is lifting, the dissonance is fading, and the divine melody of your higher self is becoming clear. Have you always felt a mysterious longing, a quiet ache that whispered there was more to life, more to you than what met the eye? That was the divine blueprint within you, pulsing beneath the surface, waiting for this exact moment. Tonight, it awakens. You will no longer just exist, you will ascend. This ascension is not the result of luck. It is the result of alignment, years of inner work, quiet healing, faith held tightly in the dark, countless moments when you chose surrender over self-doubt, truth over fear, stillness over noise. Tonight is the culmination of that sacred labor, a spiritual graduation. The veil between your earthly self and your divine nature is dissolving, revealing a truth that will shift your entire reality. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. Isaiah 61. This isn't just poetry, it's prophecy fulfilled in you. As you awaken to your higher self, your soul will rise to meet its divine assignment. You will begin to live from the inside out, no longer shaped by outside expectations, but led by inner revelation. Every decision, every word, every breath will begin to carry the vibration of truth, love, and purpose. You are now entering a dimension of clarity where confusion cannot follow. For the first time, your identity will not feel like a question, it will feel like a knowing. You will begin to see the world through eternal eyes. Where others see chaos, you will sense patterns. Where they feel fear, you will radiate faith. You will live as someone who has seen, because you have. Have you ever wondered why you've always felt the world's pain so deeply? Why you've been sensitive to the energy of a room, affected by injustice, and yet so quietly hopeful? It's because you were made to live from a higher realm. Tonight, you are returning to that realm, not to escape the world, but to elevate it. Your ascension isn't loud, it's luminous. It is the soft activation of ancient truth within your bones. And along with it comes a crystalline energy, a divine frequency now pulsing through your spirit and your body. You may feel it as warmth in your hands, a tingling behind your eyes, a stillness in your chest. Don't ignore it. These are not physical anomalies, they are spiritual confirmations. But we all, with open face beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image by the Spirit of the Lord. 2 Corinthians 3:18. What you're experiencing is not just awakening, it is becoming aligned, becoming visible, becoming radiant. This crystalline energy is the bridge between your human form and divine frequency. It's the spiritual technology that allows your soul to sync with your sacred mission. And once activated, it begins a lifelong transformation. Not just of your spirit, but of your senses, your awareness, your creativity, your strength. Look at the journey of Antony Gormley, the sculptor whose works use the human body as a space of transformation. He once described the body not as an object, but as a place of becoming. His art isn't just visual, it's spiritual space made visible. He gave form to the invisible essence of being. In many ways, that's what your life is now becoming, a living sculpture shaped by the divine, reflecting heaven on earth. As this energy continues to unfold, it will sharpen your senses and deepen your wisdom. You'll hear things differently, not just sounds, but the meaning beneath the sounds. You'll see the divine geometry in patterns that once seemed random. You'll notice how easily your presence calms people, how your words hold healing. These are not coincidences. This is your higher self in action. But are you ready to let go of the version of yourself that only knew survival? Are you ready to stop living beneath your inheritance and start claiming your divine birthright? The answer lies in your willingness to embrace the truth now being revealed. Tonight, you are stepping into the light, not metaphorically, spiritually, eternally. You have walked in the shadows of uncertainty for too long, unclear of your role, unsure of your identity, disconnected from the magnitude of your mission. But now the divine spotlight turns on, not to expose your flaws, but to illuminate your divinity. This light will show you what was always true. You were born not just with purpose, but with power. Power to heal, to build, to see, to know. You will no longer question if your life matters. You'll know it does. You'll feel it in your heartbeat, in your silence, in the way strangers sense something different when they stand near you. Look at Terence McKenna, the philosopher and mystic who pushed the boundaries of consciousness through science and spirit. He spoke often of the moment humanity would realize we are not machines, but multidimensional spiritual beings with forgotten power. Tonight, that realization is becoming embodied in you. You don't need psychedelic visions, you need spiritual alignment, and now you have it. As this ascension continues, don't be surprised if you feel emotional, or still, or overwhelmed with a peace so deep it's almost otherworldly. That's because it is. It is divine presence reminding you that you're not lost. You're found. You're not broken. You're birthing. Your true nature is emerging, and it cannot be stopped. You may begin to notice more synchronicities, numbers, dreams, messages, divine alignments. Don't dismiss them. They are markers from heaven guiding you along the path. You are no longer wandering. You're walking in purpose. With every step, the veil grows thinner. With every breath, the truth settles deeper. Have you ever stood on the edge of a cliff, feeling both fear and freedom at once? That is what stepping into divine truth feels like. It's not comfort, it's clarity. It doesn't always answer every question, but it ends the need to keep pretending you are anything less than chosen. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. Romans 8:16. That witness is speaking right now. You can feel it, can't you? That holy confirmation rising from within, telling you, This is it. You're not who you were yesterday. You are who God says you are. Chosen one, have you ever felt like this world was too small for your soul? Have you sensed beneath the surface of your daily life that your spirit was reaching for something greater, something beyond the noise, the routine, the invisible walls that society told you were reality? If so, you weren't imagining it. You were remembering your origin, and tonight you break free. This is not just poetic language. This is a spiritual event. You are no longer confined to the limits that once held you back. The chains of old beliefs, the walls built by fear, the ceilings constructed by others' expectations, they are crumbling. Tonight, you are rising. You are ascending beyond the patterns that once dictated your thoughts, your movements, your worth. What if everything you've ever been told about your limitations was never the truth, but merely a test? What if your soul has been waiting for the moment when the illusion would lift and your divine identity would step forward? This moment is now. Tonight you are shedding the illusion of powerlessness. You are leaving behind the belief that you were ever less than sacred. The physical world, with all its constraints, demands and definitions, no longer holds dominion over your consciousness. You are not here to be defined by what is seen. You are here to reveal what is eternal. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. 2 Corinthians 4:18. That eternal dimension is becoming visible through you. You may feel it as a stirring in your chest, a warmth in your palms, a sudden moment of peace that silences all your worries. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. The divine is signaling your elevation. The veil that separated you from the higher planes of wisdom is lifting, and what once felt distant now feels familiar. This elevation is not just mental clarity, it is spiritual realignment. You're not just thinking differently, you're becoming different. You are no longer led by fear-based logic, you are being led by divine intelligence. And in this state of consciousness, miracles are not rare, they are natural. You begin to see that your life was never meant to follow the ordinary path. You were born to create a new one. Think of Beethoven, deaf, misunderstood, and ridiculed. Yet in silence, he heard music the world had never imagined. He composed symphonies from a place beyond human limitation, guided by something few could comprehend. He wasn't a genius by earthly standards. He was aligned with a divine source. Like you, he tapped into a realm where human barriers no longer applied. You are now doing the same. As your awareness expands, you will begin to see how much you've been carrying that was never yours. The need for approval, the weight of shame, the false idea that your value was something to be earned. These illusions begin to dissolve under the light of your elevated consciousness. And what emerges is truth, your truth. Do you realize how powerful it is to finally release yourself from the opinions of others? To stop letting society, culture, or even your past dictate the course of your future? You are not here to be defined. You are here to define. And tonight, you reclaim that authority. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. That renewal is taking place now. Your mind is not just being cleared, it is being recalibrated to the divine frequency of who you were before trauma, before comparison, before confusion. You are being reminded of your original brilliance, and in this reminder comes release. No longer are you bound by the rules of limitation. You are free to dream with no ceiling, to create with no boundaries, to move through life with the flow of someone who knows that everything is working for them, not against them. Do you know the story of Paulo Coelho, the author of The Alchemist? Before the book became a global phenomenon, it was rejected by multiple publishers. He was even institutionalized by his own parents as a teenager because he wanted to be a writer, but he followed the call anyway. He honored the divine whisper that told him his journey was not about conformity, but about destiny. And when he aligned with that truth, the world aligned with him, just like it will align with you. This elevation may feel unfamiliar at first, like walking on new ground you've never stepped on before, but your soul will recognize it, because you've been here before, just not in this lifetime. The wisdom now surfacing isn't new, it's ancient, it's you returning. You may begin to see colors differently, feel time moving slower or faster, receive insights with no logical origin. Don't question them. This is divine consciousness, not earthly confusion. It is the shift from human striving to spiritual surrender. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit, for the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of God. 1 Corinthians 2:10. And those deep things, they are now rising within you. Have you ever felt like the answers were buried just beneath the surface, like you were one breath away from a revelation that could change everything? Tonight, that breath is here. You are inhaling divine awareness. And with every exhale, you release what no longer serves the awakened version of yourself. This is liberation, not from the world, but from the falsehood that you were ever limited by it. And with this liberation comes power, the power to speak what needs to be spoken, to walk where others hesitate, to create from a place that knows no lack. You are no longer guessing your way through life. You're being guided from within. Let the story of Florence Scovel Shinn inspire you. She was dismissed by many for her unorthodox beliefs about the power of words, thoughts, and energy. Yet her teachings on affirmations and divine law have changed countless lives. Why? Because she wasn't teaching fantasy. She was operating from a higher plane of consciousness, one that you are now stepping into. This is not about magic. This is about mastery. As your divine consciousness expands, your relationship with everything changes. Time bends, intuition sharpens, synchronicities increase, and you begin to understand that you are not moving through life. Life is moving through you. You are not separate from the divine, you are its expression. And tonight, that expression becomes undeniable. You'll no longer walk into rooms wondering if you belong. You will know that you are there to shift the energy. You'll stop apologizing for your truth. You'll stop second-guessing your voice. You'll stop hiding the parts of yourself that were actually the most sacred all along. This elevation is not temporary. It is permanent. It is not a moment. It is a turning point. From this point on, your decisions will feel different. Your desires will shift. What once seemed important will now feel irrelevant. And what once felt unreachable will now feel inevitable, because you are no longer confined, you are no longer doubting, you are no longer asleep, you are free, free to be divine, free to be whole, free to be you. Beloved chosen one, tonight is not the end of your journey, it is the sacred beginning. The veil has been lifted, your spirit has responded, and you are now standing in the light of divine clarity. For the first time, the confusion has quieted, the questions have found direction, and you, yes you, have awakened to the incredible purpose and power that has always lived within your soul. You are no longer walking in darkness, trying to figure out who you are. You know. And what you now know, you can never unknow again. You have seen a glimpse of your divine design. You have felt the divine hand rearranging your destiny. And from this night forward, you will never again see yourself as small, limited, or unworthy. Because God has shown you the truth. You were created for greatness, for influence, for impact, and for love. This awakening is not just emotional, it is eternal. It is the moment heaven's intention collides with your obedience, and a new life begins. One led by revelation, not routine. As your divine path continues to unfold, may you remember this night as the turning point. The moment you chose to believe what God said about you over what the world tried to convince you of. The moment you felt peace, not as a concept, but as a presence. The moment you realized that everything, every delay, every detour, every disappointment was leading you here. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Thank you for staying present, open, and aligned. Your spirit was meant to find this message at this very time, and it's an honor to have been a part of that divine connection. If this message has spoken to you deeply, and you feel led to support this work, you can do so through the Super Thanks feature below. Whether you choose to donate or simply continue to watch and share, please know this. I am deeply, truly grateful for your presence, your energy, your time, your spirit. It matters here. It is valued. It is honored. As you move forward, may divine light go before you. May peace rise within you. May clarity become your companion and purpose your path. And above all, may you never forget the truth that was revealed to you tonight. You are chosen. You are powerful. And your destiny is already unfolding in ways more beautiful than you can imagine. Stay faithful, stay ready, and stay aligned with the divine. You are blessed, you are loved, and this is just the beginning.